those are some of the ways I make sure that the next generation of fam, they never go back to Ramen and OJ unless they want to, because we still got that shit in the closet, because that's what we eat.
Kids, we still got the ramen here. They got to know what it is. But I do love what you're saying, right? The idea of going back to the bottom, it's not keeping the same lifestyle that you're accustomed to, and better yet, making it even better for the next generation when they come in.
Stack my money up like Legos. Bet me when I say so. Pull up in the spotlight. Pull up.
What's up, world? We back. It's your boy Ross Mac of Maconomics, and this is another episode of Money Music Culture. I'm here with my dog, my co-host Brandon Copeland, aka Professor Cope. B Cope, man, how you living, dog? What's the word?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know how we do. I'm ready to talk some money. I'm ready to learn from my boy today, baby. Let's go, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm learning from you, man. This is a give and receive relationship, man, because I'm learning from you as much as the next person learning. You did?
Amen, bro. Well, look, we're not going to waste no time. We're not going to beat around the bush.
Let's go.
Our guys, man. Joyner Lucas, Lil Baby, Ramen OJ.
Right.
I think this song one, I love the song. You know me, obviously I only play things that I like. But I listen to it before games, listen to it as I train, because it's like, it's the thing that fuels me and motivates me to say, like, nah, we got to keep going. Like, I'm not going back to what life was before I felt like I was closer to financially being free, right? I don't think I'm financially free yet, but we on the verge, right?
That song did something for me, right? Like, at the end of the day, that's what this about, right? Money, music, culture, right? If you're able to combine all three of them, then we got something, right? We cooking with grease, and at the end of the day, the thing you take from it is just the hunger, right? I can never go back to the bottom. I can never go back to walking to work on a cold day. Baby said something where he like, you know, I went from an employee to a business owner, the boss or something. Like, at the end of the day, right, you ask yourself, what's going to motivate you? Right. And I think that it's very important to understand what the bottom is, to experience that, to have that humility, to have that type of humbling experience, to one, understand what it is that you never want to have to do again in order to propel you to stay on the path that never places you back at that humbling experience.
Look, man.
You know what I mean? Like if you grew up broke and come into some money, that work ethic you might have got as a person that was broke, and then you get the money, it's like you can't stop the work ethic. You got to continue to be hungry, right? Like, they say, like, the vast majority of people that just inherit a lump sum of money lose it, right? You win the lottery, right? You're going to lose that, right? Because they didn't work towards that money. But, like, if you ever came from the bottom and your work ethic got you out of the bottom into glowing up, making a lot of money, then you understand, like, I'm never going back to that. Okay, what are the steps not to go back to that? Is it saving better? Is it investing? Right? Like, what is it? Is it working even harder? Is it new ventures? Right? Like, because you understand, it's only 24 hours in a day, and every hour you sleep, somebody else working harder than you. So, like, what is it like, Cope? What, like, talk to me, right? Like, how do you never go back to the bottom?
Yeah, bro. I mean, I think you also hit on something huge right there, is our children won't have to grow up. Like, I was looking at my son play today. I was like, this boy got a great life. God dang. Like, he literally can just turn around and play with his grandparents, and then he go outside he got the little fake Jeep truck, and like literally he can go watch YouTube whenever he wants. Like, he can go to different rooms in the crib. Like, he got a great life, right? So, like, when you talk about kids inheriting stuff, right? Like, my goal is and I don't give a shit if you do talk about my son. Oh, you inherited that. Yeah, you fucking right. You inherited it, right? Like, but you also, it's my job to teach you how to grind for it too, how to work for everything, how to earn everything, how to be polite, be respectful, how to treat everybody in the building the same, and all those things. So when I listen to this song, in order for me to not ever risk going back, because that's been my dream and my goal. Like, my life is like, I don't want to go back to worrying about what the price of the groceries are. Straight up, right? Like, I don't gas prices. I'm conscious of it, and I'm conscious of all the money I spend. However, it's not like, for me right now, it's not like, yo, like, oh shit, we can't buy this. because it's going to affect paying a bill next week. I ain't going back to that, right? Like, and
Yep.
so the way I am setting myself up, and let's also put a disclaimer on it. This is just, we're on this journey with everybody out there, right? We'll look back 10, 20, 30 years from now and hopefully we'll see like, yo, we were right? But like the way I am bulletproofing myself for that is one, by investing. My savings are minimal. I know that might be backwards to what a lot of people say. My emergency fund is straight. My emergency fund is my savings, right? Like that's in case I'm unemployed for longer than I ever expect to be unemployed. These houses don't sell the way I need them to sell. This commercial real estate doesn't go the way I need it to go. These ventures don't exit properly. They all become duds, right? That's money to keep me afloat until I have the next idea or the next hustle. But the rest is going to fucking work for me, right? Get your ass out there and go to work, because that's how we make sure we never go back. Because as soon as I get that profit, right? We sold a bunch of homes last month. And literally I'm out here looking for the next deal and multiple deals to take that money and spread it into. Yes, give me all that. Get your ass back out there and get to work. Period. So for me, making smart and strategic investments, something that Floyd Mayweather says all the time. Everybody looks at him like, oh, you blowing your money, and we'll never know. We'll never see in his tax return in his bank account. However, like he always says, I'm making smart investments, right? Those investments are paying me well.
Hey, bro, you know what's so funny about Floyd, bro? I bumped into him one time in real life. I was coming out of Morgan Stanley, so I felt as though, and then I name dropped one of the homies. My brother actually played in the 2-on-2 with him and Jeremiah versus him and his mans for some bread, right? So I was able to name drop, and he like actually talked to me for like a good 3 minutes, and I had a great conversation with him. But the thing was, I'm like, man, Floyd, he Floyd Mayweather. This is in goddamn 2013, 2014. You feel me? Something like that. It's in that era. Right. And so I'm talking to him and he said the exact same thing, man. I'm making smart investments. He's like, man, I'm out here buying a building like the one you just walked out of. Mind you, he talking about Morgan Stanley, bro. He talking about real deal, over 40-story commercial unit. You know what I mean? Like real skyscraper. And he always would say that. And that's what's so funny. I laugh at it. Like Floyd never, like, him and 50 Cent always be going back and forth, and 50 be, bro, you gonna go broke, Floyd. You gonna go broke, Floyd. That's why you fighting again. Like Floyd probably have another fight soon, and 50 Cent go laugh like he going broke. That's why. But Floyd, you'll never see what his investment portfolio is, but he always says I'm making smart investments, and whether he is or isn't, that is the true name of the game. And you said something that was so dope. Going back to the bottom isn't about me no more. I got 2 kids. You got 2 kids, so it's all about them. You feel me? So for me, I want to, until the day I die, be jealous of the life my kids had. You know what I mean? I want to be jealous of my grandchildren, right? And the way I'm going to be is, right, we inherited a lot of game from our parents, right? We might not have inherited no money from them, but if we were able to inherit the game, right, we got a little game. Now we're able to give the wisdom, the hustle, and the game to our kids. So now they kids gonna inherit all that and some more, right? And at the end of the day, going back to the bottom for me is my kids not having a much better lifestyle than me.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? Like, I ain't gonna hold you, like, bro, we went to the same school, right? Me and Cope went to the #1 school in the nation when we were there.
Tell them.
Wharton Business
No
School,
cap.
University of Pennsylvania, Ivy League. We 2 niggas from the hood. You know what I mean? To go to the #1 school in the world, you got to understand a few things. It's only going to be 6% black people. So we in there with the true 1%ers. It's a few people that's hungry, but there's a lot of people in there who I ain't even heard of my school until I was damn near 16, 17. You feel me? So like, to give you an idea, like I didn't even know what this school was. For a lot of the kids that went there, their parents went there. You know what I mean? They went there. You know what I mean? They wrote checks there. They knew where they were going. So I say that only to say the comfort of the life that they parents had already been in the 1%, right? Running the world, right? They have a different view on life, right? I always said, like, Mark Zuckerberg would have never been in a position to create Facebook if he was broke going to Harvard. And the reason I say that is this. If he was broke going to Harvard, he wouldn't have no longer been able to dream. And the reason I say that is, oh, come on, baby, you the first in the generation to go to Harvard. You got to graduate and get a good job, son. Zuckerberg had a different level of comfort.
Freedom.
Think about that. Zuckerberg had a different level of comfort while being at Harvard and having the ability to drop out. I couldn't go to Penn and drop out. I got too many people depending on me. Right. And so when I think about going to the bottom, I want to give my kids that safety net, enough game where I'm comfortable with them dropping out of college because they got the game to have a startup. They have me personally, I have the social capital to make conversations and have them in there with top tech founders. We know tech founders now. We know people in the VC world now. Yeah. Right. But like, if our parents didn't, then we got that. And now our kids have the ability to be the Zuckerbergs, right? And so going back to the bottom is robbing my kids of that ability to dream. Bro, you just posted something and I liked it not that long ago when you was talking about, right, when you were a kid, the world is your oyster. Oh, I want to be an astronaut. I want to be this. But then when you get older, you stop dreaming, right? Because it's reality. And one of the things I would have said too on that was like, when you were a kid, you never have been faced with failure. It's not until you get older and you fail at something, then you don't ever want to fail again. So now your dreams are a lot smaller. But like having a different level of comfort, your dreams will always remain big, right? Like I remember graduating with certain kids and you ask them, damn, what you doing after school? Oh, I'm about to go to Europe and backpack for 2 months. None of them was telling me they had to get a job. They didn't have no pressure, because they had the ability to continue to dream, to continue to figure it out. And so I love that you brought that up. Like, bro, I can't wait to be jealous and watch how dope Bryce grow up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't wait to look at Rossi and Asar and see, like, bro, these bonds are really living life to the fullest. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, bro, going back to the bottom is I look at it through the lens of the kids now.
Yeah, man. And you know, I want to also touch on that point. Is like you said, kids don't know failure. They also don't know embarrassment. Right? Like, they don't know what being embarrassed is. Like, a kid will sit here like, you know, Uncle Ross, like, let's dance, right? And just be dancing, right? Like, how many grown people will just come up and randomly just start dancing in the middle of the party, right? We was in Arizona last week, a big old crowd there. We walking across the little, it wasn't a stage, but this little place to get to the ice cream for Bryson. And he likes the song and he just start dancing in front of everybody. Don't care what anybody else is thinking. Right,
that boy ain't got no rhythm like his daddy.
Nah, that boy's smooth, boy. We got the little, it's the stiff shoulders, but we get it in though. But nah, he that's the thing that I think that, when you strip away and we're kind of moving away from the money, but it's a mindset, really, right? Like when you strip away being embarrassed, when you strip away the fear of failure, and the reason why you have that fear of failure is because most of the time it's like you don't want to be embarrassed. People know you failed, right? Like. When you strip that shit away, you really unlock yourself, right? The reason why a kid can feel comfortable saying, oh, I'm gonna go backpack for 2 months. I don't give a shit what you think. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you expect me to go to, I don't give a fuck what you think, right? Like I'm going to backpack for 2 months is what I said, right? And you've mentioned it before, especially when you talk about the metaverse and the NFT spaces. Like you said, you take your cool cloak off. Like, stop trying to be so cool. Right? Like, stop trying to be afraid of being embarrassed. Stop trying to be the coolest person in the room and really just tap into being who the fuck you are. Right? And so, again, we kind of not talking about money, which is cool. This is money, music, and culture. This is culture, right? I just think that, for me, my entire life has been a chase. And I also want to make sure, like, my mother, she worked extremely hard the way I know your mom did as well too, and Pops and everybody, right? My mom worked extremely hard to give me some amazing opportunities. She actually got us out Baltimore, right? To give us better exposure to different schools and everything like that. And I never want her to feel like I'm one of those kids that's like, oh, I came from the bottom. I came from the bottom. I came from the bottom. You know what I'm saying? Because our kids ain't going to be able to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wish you would say that shit. You know what I'm saying? I wish I would look at Bryce.
Hey, we gonna play this back for when Bryce he ever try to make a song and he act like he ever grew up broke. Hold on, bro.
Right.
Are you dumb?
Right, right. And I think that that's the cool thing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even the Kanye West documentary, right? Like, my kid, this for my kids, right? That was the song. But the documentary, like he was like, man, what you gonna be mad at me because I ain't kill nobody? Because I ain't murder nobody,
Facts.
right? Like, what you gonna be mad at me because I like different type of clothes. I like this, right? Like, when we all can just embrace who the fuck we are as people, and most of
Yeah.
the time it only comes with age, sadly, right? Like, no matter how much people try to tell you that, when I was young, when people try to tell me that, it's like, all right, yeah, cool, but like, I need to be cool for this crowd today. Like, I appreciate you, but like, I'm cool now. Don't fuck with this, right? Don't fuck this up for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta we all gotta grow and mature. But like, when you think about older folks, right? People talk about like old people, like, oh, they just say whatever they want. Grandma, she say whatever she want. She old, she ain't got time for no bullshit. Like, that's freedom, right? Older folks like that because they free. They're like, I'm not gonna waste time bullshitting with you. I'm gonna keep it
Yeah.
a stack with you. So I think that for me, my chase has always been to never go back to a different lifestyle. For athletes, for me as an athlete, let me zoom in a little bit. For me as an athlete, I've loved my life being a pro NFL player. I never want to go back to life without being like this financially. So that's why I hustle so hard off the field, right? Like, yeah, one day people are as an athlete, I think you have two deaths. People talk about the two deaths of an athlete, right? And you say, one day I'm a big dude. Like, I'm not going to shrink once I'm done playing football, right? So people are going to be like, oh man, you play ball? And it's going to hurt a little bit. Damn, for the first time since fourth grade, I don't, right? I'm retired. I can't, like, that's going to be a little scar. I can't solve for that. Just got to grow the fuck up, man up on that, right? But the other part is just financially, I never want to get to a place where it's like, where we can't live this life that we live currently. We want to go on a trip. Hey, we need to come out and see Ross. Cool, we coming out and seeing you. Like, we're not worried about what it is, right? And so, how do I go from this life and backtrack? So what do I need to do to bulletproof myself? And again, for me, that's saving and investing. And then in terms of our kids, right, that's life insurance, right? You talk about it so well, right? Like, you talk about it all the time, right? Like, the way you can ensure your kids are millionaires, life insurance right now. You know you're going to die, right? Like, as much as I remember, literally, as crazy as it sounds, because, knock on wood, I'm not trying to die, right, anytime soon or anything like that, right? I want to live me a long, healthy life. I know a lot of people talk about them quotes where they like, life, you're hardened by the journey and the rough and the things the obstacles you overcome. I don't want no fucking obstacles. I'm gonna tell you that straight up. I done been through a bunch and it's made me the man I am. I'm not looking to try to beat fucking cancer and all of that type of shit. Like, I'd rather just be smooth sailing on the way out. Like, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, right? That's me. Like, and I don't want that for my kids either, right? Like, I want them to have just a fucking a dream type of life. I don't give a shit what other people think about that. The thing that I do know, however, is like, when we got those life insurance policies finally done, we had one, we had a whole life insurance policy, custom whole life insurance policy. But when we got the real deal Holyfield ones, I remember flying, we were going to some game and we were on a flight and there was turbulence. And literally, as crazy as it sounds, it felt good knowing that my shit was in order. Like, if I die today, it would suck. Like, if this plane don't go down, right? Like, at least the fam is getting broken off. Wifey ain't gotta sell out no houses. She ain't gotta be like, oh fuck, we gotta constrict our lifestyle, right? Like, and that's one of the things I be telling some of my boys is like, imagine you pass and now your wife and your family are grieving with your death. But then they also like, yo, we need to sell this. We got to pull back on this. Like, they also got to deal with life without you and your income as well, too.
Grieving that's why life insurance. And trying to figure out how they going to pay for your funeral.
Yeah, your funeral. But then also the money you provided, right? Like, damn, we can't keep this crib no more. We can't keep this car no more, right? So, like, wifey's going through it. Just she lost her best friend. I mean, hopefully, babe, Tay, I'm your best friend. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we're still that, right? But she lost her best friend. But also now it's like, well, now I got to make all these business decisions in a panicked and a dramatic state of mind. Excuse me. So that's one of the reasons why insurance policy, and I'll just tell everybody out there, right? Like, get your affairs in order. For me, I was always like, man, I'm that dude that's a Ivy League professor teaching this shit, and I don't have my shit in order. What the fuck? You see Chadwick Boseman, Prince, all these folks, right? Big time folks got teams around them. They didn't have their shit in order, right? Like, what's going on there, right? We got to do better. We got to do better. I'm gonna just say it. We got to do better, and that's the way we make sure our kids eat, our families eat, and they're gonna grieve. I mean, I would say I want you. Everybody talk about you want to be happy at my funeral, smiling and all that shit. I want you to be smiling and happy. Grieve is everybody's grief is different. However, you want them to be taken care of financially as well too. So those are some of the ways I make sure that, like you said, the next generation, the fam, they never go back to ramen and OJ unless they want to, because we still got that shit in the closet, because that's just that's what we eat.
In the words of Kanye, rich ass kids, this ain't your mama house. Climb on your brother's shoulders, get that top ramen out. Kids, we still got the ramen here. They got to know what it is. But right. I do love what you're saying, right? The idea of going back to the bottom is not keeping the same lifestyle that you're accustomed to, and better yet, making it even better for the next generation when they come in. And that's what it's about, man. Like, I look at it and I just really want to ensure that our kids, my kids, your kids, and everybody who's watching this, right? Like, the idea is to help you, put you on a pathway so that your family's on a better pathway. And Coach just gave you one of the cheat codes, right? Life insurance. And what he said, and to even put it in a real perspective, what he was saying was that the reason a wife, right, got 3 kids, you pass away, she was a stay-at-home wife, and now your income is no longer coming in, and she's like, oh shit, I got to sell a house, I no more money coming in. The reason she would do that is because if you didn't have a high enough insurance policy. And so let's talk about that real quick, right? At the end of the day, what you want to do is afford your wife or anyone, right? It could go both ways, but you want it to be 10 to 12 times what your annual salary is. So if you make $100,000, then it makes sense to get a $1.2 million insurance policy. That way, right? Think about it. She could live off $100K, invest $1 million, right? If you invest $1 million, just listen to this. If you invest $1 million in some tax-free account, right, or better yet, in the S&P 500 long term, right, you're gonna get 10% a year. You can live off 10% a year because guess what? That's what your husband was making. Think about it. If you put 1.2 in there and you getting 8% or something, guess what? That's $100K. That's what your husband was making. That's the math of it. That's what it really boils down to. So when we're thinking about this, and I love that you even brought up life insurance, right? What we want to do is make sure our kids live a better life, right? Obviously, not only do we come, we got a 400, year. We start. Everybody else got a 400-year head start on against us, right? But at the end of the day, to ensure our kids do better is like, we got to grind, right? That song we listening to, right? Them moms was grinding, right? And also what they ain't really take it to was like, now we investing. Now we're thinking smarter, right? We can't never stop hustling, but we hustle smarter, right? If we hustling smarter, we're investing. We got all these different accounts set up so our kids are straight. Our kids is able to go to school and not inherit student loans, right? If you're a kid, right? Like if you had student loans, try to figure out how your kid don't have to get them, because you remember what that felt like, right? But I'm gonna let you take us out, Colt. I ain't gonna keep going because I go all day on this.
Nah, bro, we're gonna have to have a follow-up convo on this, though. I will say this: we're gonna have to have a follow-up convo, and this is might be a convo we need to rope the whole money, music, culture community into, man. How do you ensure your kids get the hustle? How do you ensure? And I guess I say the word ensure, but how do you? No one knows until we look back on life, right? But how do you do your best to prepare your kids and your children to appreciate what they have, right? To want to get up and hustle, because they grew up. They gonna wake up and it's gonna be like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like, damn, cool, I got this, right? How do you get them that Will hustle and not that Carlton hustle? And again, Carlton hustle. Let me not hate on Carlton. I'm talking about the new Peacock version of Bel Air. You know, it's a little different. Got a little Carlton, a little different.
I ain't never watched it. Is it like that?
It's like that. You need to watch it.
Yeah.
They did a good
All right,
job.
I'm gonna check him out.
I'm gonna give them that one. They did a really good job with that.
I've been watching stuff like Force and Snowfall.
Oh yeah, Snowfall. I've been watching Snowfall.
I should watch Peacock.
Hey, that boy Franklin make you want to go to them streets.
Oh, my boy.
That boy Franklin, drive this motherfucking car. Well, I'm gonna tell you, boy. Look, you gonna get off his corners.
He go off.
Look, you gonna get off his corners. You gonna.
Bro, what be so crazy is that when you hear him talk in the interview, and son got a British accent, you be fucked up. Like, what?
Yeah.
How does son got a British accent? That's always be the funniest
thing. That show his talent, man. But that's gonna be our next convo is how do we, and this is gonna be us just throwing ideas out, right? Like, how do we make sure Rossi, Bryson, Braylon, right? Like, how do we make sure they are prepared for life and prepared for the hustle? You know what I'm saying? Without having to do what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway, man, Money Music Culture. This was another great conversation with my boy, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate us always coming here and being vulnerable, man. And it's on to the next one. So make sure you tap in, man. Just finished up with your boy Ross Mack and your boy Brandon Copeland, aka Professor Cope. And we want to make sure you share this with your homies, share this with your neighbors, share this with your children. And share this with your grandma and your auntie. Share this with everybody, man. Money Music Culture. Make sure you tap in. We'll see you next time. Peace.